Hello YouTube, my name is rhianaB and welcome back to another episode of my Survivor Review. And just to add a note, happy belated Thanksgiving. I hope you all had an amazing time with your family, your friends, whatever you did for your Thanksgiving, if you celebrated at all. I hope you had a fantastic day. But now, so after last tribal council, Mike had to really think on his toes about what he was going to do next. The healers were obviously in trouble now that Jessica and Desi were both gone. So now he's going to start playing a little bit dirty. He's actually starting to kind of badmouth some of the other contestants, more so on the healer's side because he knows that that's just a sinking ship anyway, but this means that Mike is not messing around. And then we also see a new duo, which we kind of already had established last episode, but this time we fully know that Lauren and Ben are a new duo and that they are going to have their own alliance. And for right now, it's pretty rock solid since Lauren told Ben about her secret advantage and he's really the only one who knows about it. But who knows, things could crumble very, very quickly. And as we saw from last episode's preview for this week, we saw Ryan tell Devin about his hidden immunity idol, and he also tells Ben, but that doesn't happen until later, and that's going to create some conflict, and I'll get to that toward here in a second. So while on the reward challenge, which consisted of Joe, JP, Cole, Chrissy, and Mike, Joe was not holding back anything in his attempt to find some sort of an advantage or another immunity idol. Now, obviously, Ryan found the idol that was a part of the reward from last week, so probably there won't be another idol once that one is played. That did not stop Joe from literally going everywhere he could on this giant yacht that was part of the reward and him looking for anything. And of course, he doesn't really care about how he's being portrayed as for finding an idol because he's already had the stigma that, oh, he's the guy who finds all the idols. So he really doesn't care, so he doesn't mind showing it off, which is brave, but I still find it incredibly stupid. And then Joe's whole strategy once they get done with the reward is that he basically wants to portray himself as being really annoying, and his mindset is if they find him annoying, they'll keep him because no one will vote for Joe. I don't believe that for 1 second. If Joe does make it to the finals, he will probably get a couple votes because he did play very well, kind of like I keep saying, Tony 2.0, but I don't think it would work well for him because he has really rubbed people the wrong way, in a way that I don't think Tony had as much of a stigma with. I don't really believe that if he plays this whole, like, the annoying card thing, because honestly, whenever someone tries to do that, it never works. I have not seen it in Survivor once that's really worked, so if this is what he's got in mind, then we'll see how long it takes him to get out. And now going back to the whole Ryan idol thing, Ben goes to Devin because Ben thinks that he can really trust Devin and that there could be a new possible alliance here, or at least to add on to his and Lauren's alliance. And then, because Devin already knew about the idol, and once Ben told Devin that he already knew about it, this set a whole new perspective in Devin's mind. Devin now knows that Ryan's been going to other people, not many, just Ben is at the moment, and of course Chrissy already knows, but the fact that a lot of people already know about the idol, and Devin thought he was a special person in the alliance, that he was the only one who knew. Now Devin is kind of iffy about Ryan. This could mean a bad thing for Ryan in the future now that Devin is maybe kind of thinking about going back on his alliance with Ryan, but as of right now, we're not 100% sure on that, so that's going to definitely unfold as we get through more episodes. Then we move on to the immunity challenge, and whoo-wee, that was a close call. It was between Lauren and Cole, and just out of nowhere, Cole drops a urn full of water, and Lauren ends up winning the next immunity. And on the tribal council chopping block, we have only 2 names, and the ones we've been talking about a lot recently, Cole and Joe. So from the get-go, Ben is really pushing for a Cole vote, and that he's wanted Cole out for so long. I mean, a really long time, ever since they were back on the switched tribes. But then Ashley, because of her getting into an argument with Joe, now she's pushing for a Joe vote. And I totally understand where Ashley's coming from. I honestly think Joe is the bigger threat between Cole and Joe. Joe is the one who's both he's not really as much of a physical competitor as Cole is, and Cole's a huge physical threat, but he is more strategic, and he's more manipulative, and to me, that's more terrifying than any type of physical threat. Physical threats, that only counts if you win every single immunity, and that's a very hard task to do. Only a few survivors have actually done that. It's not easy, so that doesn't hold up for a long time, so having someone with a lot of mental power in this game, it's very, very dangerous. So I definitely understand where Ashley's coming from, whereas Joe being the higher threat. And because of this, it's a back and forth on how they're going to split up the votes just in case there is an idol played, because Mike does have one of the hidden immunity idols between him and Ryan. So what's it going to be? Is it going to be more votes toward Joe? Or is it going to be more votes toward Cole? And because of this, Mike really has to be careful of what he wants to do. He's thinking of playing his idol, and is he going to play it for himself, just in case something goes wrong? Or is he going to give it to Joe or Cole to save them from a tribal council and keep the healers together? Also, what I found really interesting was that Ben, who was really pushing for the Cole vote, which he's been doing for a while now, he was being almost dictator-like, but what was funny was that he apparently never saw himself that way. But honestly, if you're pushing for a vote on everyone, not just a couple of people, that is a definite sign that you yourself are trying to push so hard that it kind of seems like you're being a bit of a ruler of your alliance, and that's never a good thing. And I don't know how this is going to affect Ben in the future. Unless his bonds with other people are really, really tightly together, I don't know how that's going to reflect on him in the future. But anyway, we go to Tribal Council, and there's also a little interesting moment with Mike whispering to Joe, you know, trust me, follow my lead, you know, basically put your faith in me, I got this. And then he ends up kind of going into a little bit of a long spiel about relationships in the game, which are very important, and he's not wrong. But I think the way he came across from it really rubbed people the wrong way, and he was really butting heads with Lauren because Lauren kept throwing comebacks at him, which I thought was hilarious. But I literally am sitting there and I'm like, Mike, you can't do that. You can be like philosophical, you can really be in the thought of the game when you're tribal, but make sure it doesn't come off in a way that makes you sound like a know-it-all, and also don't make it as if you're trying to try to seem like you understand this game better than everyone else, because that will not help you at all. So we get to the vote, and now things are a little up in the air. Mike's name is now in the questionable area as to who's going home tonight. So all the healers are on the table here. But one of them becomes off the table because Mike plays idol for himself. And because of that, we actually had 2 votes, I believe 2 votes for Mike, and of course those don't count. And other than that, there was 1 vote Ben, and sadly, Cole ended up being the next person eliminated from Survivor Heroes versus Healers versus Hustlers, and this also makes him the 2nd member of the jury. Now on to the preview for next week. We have the typical Survivor trope, which is if there's a giant alliance, sooner or later it's gonna start tumbling down, and that's gonna start happening next time with the 7. There's gonna be a couple of fractures in the alliance of 7. Mostly I think it may be organized by Lauren. Lauren is really stepping up her game, I've gotta say. But Lauren seems to want kind of out of at least part of the 7 alliance. It looks like she wants to work with Ben, and also we see them going to Mike and to Joe, and maybe we could have a new alliance there, who knows? So maybe the healers, which are now Mike and Joe, they may actually have a chance to get through further in the game than originally thought. But we're gonna have to wait and see till next week about how this is all going to unfold. Now, my predictions for the chopping block for next week. Obviously, Mike and Joe are still really high on the chopping block because they're the only healers remaining. But if it's not based on healers, Ben, I think, is starting to rub people a little bit the wrong way, so I would say Ben. And other than that, I would say Ryan, because now Devin is kind of doubting his alliance with Ryan, and that's going to be a big play since they've had an alliance since day 1. So I don't know how that's going to affect, but I would say Ryan could be, he's more like in the middle. He may be going a little higher up depending on how he plays, but Ryan could definitely be up there as well. But as of now, our highest marks on the chopping block are Mike and Joe. Alright guys, that is it for this week's review of Survivor. Again, I hope you guys had an amazing Thanksgiving, and if you like the video, please give it a thumbs up, leave me comments down below, what did you think of tonight's episode, and if you want to see my future videos or videos I've already done, go ahead, hit subscribe and hit the little bell icon so you can be notified when my videos come out. That's all I have for you guys today, and until the next video, bye!